I've already covered items 1 and 2 on the agenda. Item 3 on the agenda is approval of the agenda itself as presented in advance of the meeting and tonight here at the meeting. Would entertain a motion for that approval.
Second.
And a roll call, please. Or I'm sorry, all those in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Item 4 on the agenda is audience participation for any items not included on the agenda this evening. For the folks in the audience, are you here for any items not on the agenda? Then moving on to item 5 as approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes from June 18th, 2018. Those were presented to us in advance. Would entertain a motion for their approval.
I'd make a motion they're approved as written. Second.
And we have a roll call on that, please.
Sure. Vogel?
Yes.
Sires?
Yes.
Dietz?
Absolutely.
Okay. Triplett? Here. Lopez?
Yes.
Sorry. Sorry, you have to be. And Haken.
And yes. Item 6 on the agenda is consider motion to recommend to council approval of plat of survey for parcel 2018-167, which looks like has multiple applicants. Project name is the Torres plat of survey, and applicants Fundamental Homes and Matthew Hemmingson. Is anyone here to talk about that?
Shane's here, but I can kind of give you an overview
Okay.
unless you prefer to.
Better.
Really, the Fundamental Homes is purchasing or is proposing to build a home on lot 31, and at that time, they noticed when they're taking the building permit that there is an encroachment of the swimming pool and the deck around the pool onto that lot. So they pardon? End up at, yeah, it was going to cover that too, but yeah. And what they decided to do was actually do a lot split so that a portion of the lot 31 would actually be deeded to lot 32. The fence that's encroaching, they've noted on the building permit application, the fence would be relocated to the new lot line as part of the building permit for lot 31. Record of lot tie would be required for that sliver of ground that's being deeded to lot 32. Go to council and be recorded along with the plat survey. Okay.
So any questions or comments?
Yeah, I wondered on the one side, the other side, not where the sidewalk fencing is in the other lot, but on, must be lot 30. Are they within the setbacks there? Are they 8-foot setback? The house? The house.
The existing house
The house is fine.
He's asking for
on the
33.
other side, I assume it's reviewed by the building inspectors. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean,
I can answer that. The civil engineer did both the new lot and that Henningson's lot, and the house is accurate. It's just the fence that was and bowling pool.
yeah, he's actually referring to the other.
Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
referring to. That's exactly.
Yeah, I was just looking at the aerial view and.
Well, those
hard to
aerials
see.
are not always the most accurate. Probably the
It's
plat
been measured.
survey, you can kind of see it better there.
Yeah.
And looking at, I mean, I'm not scaling it, but here's like it's close anyway.
Yeah, I went out there yesterday and kicked around just because I couldn't understand how it could have missed by that much. When you're out there, it's pretty clear that there is a yellow stake at that corner of lot 9 that they mistook for another yellow stake,
Yeah.
which is at the corner of
Yeah.
31 and 32. So they just shot the wrong stake with built fence is what
Yep.
it looks like.
Yeah.
What concerned me the most in being out there was that the footings are already in for the house on 31. And my concern is, and I'm glad that Shane's here tonight, is just making sure that the house on lot 31 is built with the setbacks for this, giving up this 2 feet, and that would include the house, and as I understand it, the overhang and any deck or anything else, because to me it looks really close.
We had 15 foot on each side, and so even giving up the lane that we're giving, we still have 4 foot
Okay.
on the side.
Because
I did
by this
confirm that with the
process,
building
essentially, you're giving up your,
Oh, I know.
yeah, you're giving up, having any ability to get a waiver for that in that you're approving giving that up at this
Well, I
point.
know,
in time.
this is the lesser of headaches.
Okay,
I did confirm that with Pat Crothers Green from Safe Buildings, that the building permit that they had approved or were in the process of approving is based on the new lot line and not the old lot line.
Correct.
Is the swimming pool, is it a flat swimming pool? It's not raised, is it?
It's in ground,
It's all in ground.
and the sliver of concrete goes over the property.
any other questions or comments? Now would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the lot pie agreement between parcel 2018-167 of lot 32, subject to the recommendations presented here.
Second it.
And could we have a roll call on that, please?
Sires,
Yes.
Dietz,
Yes.
Triplett. Yes. Olfest,
Yes.
and Hankins,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Okay, that motion is recommended on council for further approval. Item 7 on the agenda is to consider a motion to recommend to council approval for final plat Woodhaven Plat 3.
My name is Jared Murray, I'm still Design Advantage, 3405 Southeast Crossroads Drive, PG. Grimes.
Hey,
Could ask for the approval of the final plat for Woodhaven Plat 3. It includes the 35 single-family lots, just north of Plat 2 that extends, or Plat 1 and 2, I guess. Ties into Woodhaven Drive and then up to the north, and then into West Side Drive across the Park Boulevard, and there's a new cul-de-sac point court. As far as comments, we've addressed most comments with Kathleen. Today, Aaron, I believe, sent over my street name and some of the easement documents. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
And Kathleen, do you have any further comments?
I guess just the one thing, there are 2 easements that need to be vacated, so we'll be going to City Council on August 27th to set the date of the public hearing regarding that vacation. Those easements include, there's an existing drainage and storm sewer on lot 23. And the other one, vacated, I apologize, is a sanitary sewer easement. So those will need to be vacated. They're no longer necessary due to reconstruction. And I had mentioned we are going to ask that they add one note to specifically note that the developer of specific lots that have mailboxes in front of those lots, that the home builder be required to install a 4-foot wide sidewalk from the mailbox to the public sidewalk along the street. So just to make sure everybody understands that's going to be a requirement. You will notice, and I don't know if it was included in your packets, there is an engineer's exhibit now that accompanies the final plat. The reason for that is that some of the items that are on the engineer's exhibit primarily related to elevation, opening elevations. Those are actually an engineering document versus a surveyor's document. So now some companies have elected to kind of separate those, where you've got the final plat, which is actually a surveying document, as compared to the engineering document that sets the minimum opening elevations. That's kind of a new thing in front of you, but you'll probably be seeing that more often.
So that'd be recorded
Yeah.
with everything else?
Yeah, and there is a note on the final plat that refers, note number 8 says refer to record engineering exhibit for the minimum opening elevations, just to tie the two together so people are aware of them, but the actual elevations need to be on the engineered document. So,
I got a question on lot 15 there, as you look at that. That'd be access off Eagle Point, the little cul-de-sac there, correct?
It's designed to go West Side Drive.
Is it West Side Drive?
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually has an address, so they're allowed to go either way.
Okay. So if it went off the cul-de-sac, would you have a rear yard setback?
It
Between
would
lot
be
14?
on the smallest side. Already went through this many
Yeah,
times.
yeah, the rear yard is no matter which way the house is oriented, the
Okay.
rear yard is opposite the narrowest front yard. The narrowest front yard then is at 113.17 versus the 136, so that's why
Okay.
the rear yard is in that direction. At least from a planning standpoint.
I have, I know that there's a drainage issue there, right? I mean, in terms, isn't there an issue about, there's that gully that.
Yeah.
Between, are there drainage issues in that area? I mean, are there, in terms of washing out and stuff,
Erosion more here?
erosion and threatening some of the homes that are already there?
Well, those are on the other side, so I mean, this plat obviously
All right,
doesn't have to take care of
Is
it.
that something that needs to be thought about?
Alan Dubutsky reviewed this, and actually the cul-de-sac was shortened. You'll see a very large overland flowage easement there. They have said that there is no issue with home stability based on these enlarged setbacks. You'll see what those building setbacks are on those lots. And we have a study and letter from Alan Dubutsky that says that same thing. You will see that there is note number nine on the final plat says that lots 8 through 9 and 16 through 18 and 20 through 23 have steep slopes within the overland flowage easement. The geotechnical engineer shall review and comment on proposed lot improvements, including site plans, grading plans, and landscaping plans prior to issuance of building permits for said lots. Primary reason for that is to make sure that roof drains don't discharge in a location that could negatively impact those slopes. But they said there was got a geotechnical engineer that said there's not an issue with the homes. Again, this doesn't deal with the homes on the other side on those other properties, just within this plat. Yeah,
You
Yep,
got
and
note
that-
number 3 too that talks about maintenance of all the.
embankments, yeah, and that's actually even within the legal document that gets recorded as well. It says maintenance of those embankments is the property owner's responsibility, not the city's. That's a note we've been requiring on all plats and easement documents for several years now. I can't tell you exactly when we started that, but just trying to clarify that to everybody, that the city's not gonna get in the backyards and fix erosion issues.
Any other questions or comments? Glad to see this moving forward finally. Yeah, sure. Would entertain a motion.
Just make a comment
Oh, absolutely.
before we make a motion. On the recommendations, it says, we recommend P&Z approval of final plat for Woodhaven Plat 1. That should be 3, right? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
couple typos,
Yeah,
and then item 1 before being placed on P&Z, that should be council. And just a couple, before a motion on that, I think we ought to just correct those two little.
the other one was where, I'm sorry.
I figured just type.
Bullet point number 1.
Oh, that one I had, yeah, I got that one. Sorry about that one. I pull up the original plats to modify
Yeah,
them.
that's what I figured, so no
Try to solve
problem. I
it.
just thought,
Yep.
that, I'll make a motion that we approve the plat 3 of this, subject to the recommendations as modified.
And a second for that.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Vogel,
Yes.
Sires,
No.
Dietz,
Yes.
Kirkland. Yes. Olfest,
Yes.
Hankins.
Yes.
I voted no because there's too many review comments. I think that's terrible. And I think that ought to be corrected by engineers before it comes to us. It's real confusing.
There's only 4 review comments.
It's 2 pages.
No, the others are legal documents, and that's just a listing of all the legal documents that are required. Those aren't comments. there were 4 review and comments. I mean, just for future reference, that's on final plats, that's normal. I break it up into final plat, the comments on the drawing. Then I have a more detailed description of the easement documents and whatever other legal documents, whether it's like in this case where we're vacating easements, those kind of things. That's more of a checklist in terms of things that need to be done. And that stays on through council because it's just kind of an explanation of what's going on. So just to clarify, I mean, I understand your point, but there's just the 4 that are comments.
Right,
Thanks. Does that make sense?
Okay, and so that item has been approved on by P&Z on council, so appreciate that very much. Item 8 on the agenda is the council liaison.
Not a whole lot to add. I know it's been, I think, 2 months since we've had a meeting and 3 months I've been here because I missed. I appreciate Jeff sitting in for me. Big thing most recently, really big thing is we hired a new fire chief, first full-time person there, and he'll start here shortly, so that's a big step. Nothing else.
He's on staff now then?
What's that?
He's on staff.
No, his start date is a little bit in flux. They've had some things going on. He's coming from Knoxville.
I see. Great.
Yeah. There's a couple experiences down there that need to, and loose ends that need to be
Sure.
taken care of.
Yep.
And I appreciate the fact that he wants to take care of that, have a clean house when he moves.
Says a lot about his character.
Number 9 on the agenda is staff report.
We've been busy, but
I can't think of it. Gary, you did give us an update last week, and I know these guys field similar questions that we do on developments. If you want to kind of talk about the stoplight just a little bit, or up against there, just in case anybody gets any questions. Not to put you on the spot or anything. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Just the advanced delay or the longer time it's taking to go through the process and get materials and all that stuff. Okay, the lights, signals at 3rd and Bridge, we were hoping to be under construction now. DOT has other thoughts, and going through the final approvals of the DOT right now. In fact, we got 2 more today. And the second part of a delay on this when it finally gets to council, and they'll be hearing about it firsthand, is the aluminum poles. There used to be 3 suppliers in the state of Iowa. There's now 2. And so the timing on those are upwards of 9 months instead of being 4 to 5 weeks or sometimes 6. So we are planning that for next summer, which seems to be working in our advantage. The reason it's working in our advantage is that this year has not been a good year for paving, and I would like to have that full intersection in so there's no conflicts between contractors, and that may happen. Otherwise, we're going to have contractors working around poles that we're going to go in, so this may be a blessing in disguise.
Didn't make much sense to me to try that until that section is complete.
Well, the DOT had other ideas too.
Of course.
And when the DOT is putting as much money as they are into this, I guess we're going to listen. Calmer heads have prevailed.
When West Bridge Road is extended east of 3rd, and that street is open, will that still just be then a 2-way stop or a 4-way stop for the interim?
Well, not knowing exactly when all this is going to get done, we're going to look at an alternative of temporary signals. So we can stretch some signals in there.
Okay.
Let's see if you can tell me what's going to happen first, the chicken or the egg, I can give you a pretty good idea of how this is going to go. Who expected 2 inches of rain today? Wasn't on the radar.
I mean, the last conversation I had with Bill Kimberly, they were still hoping to pave this year, but he wasn't gonna guarantee it, so.
Where's Hy-Vee at on their schedule? Any idea?
Sorry.
Hy-Vee, where they're at?
Hy-Vee is still in communication. They have not signed the final document. So the two are still talking. Hy-Vee says they want to see the paving first. Guess I can understand that.
Somebody said mid-2019 when we approved their store plan anyways. But I don't think it's probably finalized yet.
Don't think so.
Oh, it's the deadline?
Okay. Anything else?
What's the delay?
Right now, I can't
They're
think.
just, in terms of paving there, they just finished the sanitary sewer. I mean, so it's the underground utilities. You know, they're working on water main and some storm sewer now. They gotta get all that finished, and then you'll start seeing the grading, the subgrade prep, so then you can actually kind of see where the road's going to be paved. That's a good indication that they're getting close when you start seeing that happen.
But that even has, because now you're open, like Davis Street.
Yeah.
And now you get a 2-inch rain.
Right. That's why I said close. I didn't say you're gonna be paving tomorrow.
That causes all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
You get it that close and.
Yeah. Good.
Not good.
So is that it for you folks?
I think so.
Oh, good.
Thank you, sir.
Commission report?
I have a question or comment, I guess. The approval we had of that little 3-foot change in lot line, I was curious. I know that, we have the setback requirements for the house and all that, but when they put in those pads and things for like the swimming pool there, isn't that, how on earth doesn't the contractor check where the lot lines are to make sure they're...
Chances are in this one, fence company came in, threw the fence in, then they went back, contracted and got the pool dug, and, look at all the room we have.
but there's no permitting required for that stuff?
Permitted, but we don't survey.
Yeah.
And if you're saying, there's my pin and there's my pin, okay.
And
It's
there,
almost like-
there is a pin there where they
Yeah,
put in the
there's a-
fence.
You're exactly right.
Yeah,
I think the same thing. They went to the wrong, they took the fence to the wrong.
They got the wrong pin.
Mhm. Yeah, if you look at that aerial, it kind of, fence goes right to the other lot, the wrong lot corner.
And if you take a little closer look, lot 9's got a
Yeah, I was
fence
gonna
on
say,
it that
it's
should
almost
have.
like, well...
And when you went out and looked at it, it looked okay. I thought. I mean, I thought they were on the fence was on the correct side of the pins. The aerial doesn't look like. To me, it looked like they were on the correct side of the pins.
Yeah, and aerials are close, but they're not.
I guess it's easier to ask for forgiveness.
Mhm.
Well, and the problem, I mean, without the record of, doing the lot split, they would have had to remove, they wouldn't have had to do anything with the pool, but they would have had some concrete decking that they would have had to remove, so.
I guess as long as the smaller lot works for all the stuff.
First one of these I've seen, but I mean, I can understand why it happened. It's unusual lot lines there, but just goes to show, you might want to think 15 extra feet in the backyard is quite a bit. You can step that off.
Well, I just have a quick item also. I think in a lot of our neighborhoods, we end up getting a lot of questions and comments and concerns from some of our neighbors just because they know we're active in city government. I've been getting quite a bit of, or several comments over the past couple months, and they're compliments. And that's, you don't, you know, hearing a barrage of compliments, I thought I better pass those forward.
Pass those directly forward.
So hearing lots of good things about the sidewalk installation in Lost Lakes Park. So the neighborhood is really appreciative about that. So it really opens up those sidewalks to the north, having that connectivity. So I've heard that from multiple folks. So I wanted to pass that along.
When we get a little moisture, we'll get some grass growing.
Okay. Anything else for the commission report? Would entertain a motion to adjourn. And second. And all those approve, or for approval, say aye.
Aye.
And no, don't hear anybody, so meeting is adjourned. Did you hear that, Doug?
Good job, just as long as you don't throw it.
Thanks, folks.